how do you get on with horses? Like how do you get them to peak at the right times? Because obviously there's a bit of a language barrier there.
Yeah, massively so. I suppose you have to learn to speak horse as best you can. Seriously, you have to get to know each animal. They're all a little bit different.
From horse to horse, all of them.
Yeah, every horse is a little bit different. You get to know them over the course of the time that you're training them, and you know what they look like when they're ready to run.
Yeah, but what about like different jockeys riding them as well? Do they give you any feedback on horses, or?
They do. It's a big part of it. So there's a huge system involved in training a horse. And for example, we weigh the horses every week. We get the vet in once a week just to give them an examination, just trot up and down. And we get to spot anything that's not right. We get to see it early and stop it in its tracks, or do a little tweak or a change. And when you're getting a horse ready, then you like to see them improve from week to week. You're on the gallops, they're maybe working a little bit stronger. You put the jockey up then once every 2 weeks or 4 weeks, and he'll tell you, this guy feels ready to rock. Stick him in a race there as soon as he can. Or he might say, do you know what, I don't think this horse feels as good. He took a little blow, or he got a bit tired there. If there's a fortnight, if you can wait a fortnight or a month, maybe do that. And we see that ourselves as well. And if you look at a horse and it's a bit dull in its coat, it's not great. But if it's a good, healthy shine and nice condition, and it's basically looking at you saying, I'm ready to go. Find me a race.
How do you say, in terms of like leading up to a race, you've targeted something specific? Like how would you, like the week leading up to prepping that horse to run its best it can on the Saturday? Like when does that preparation start to get him ready?
It starts about 3 months in advance.
Jesus.
Which is the same as you. Like you've got pre-season.
Yes, that's
you don't
true.
just run onto the pitch and run around for 80 minutes.
No.
Because you'll end up getting loads of injuries. So it's the same with the horse. You start 3 months in advance. Or some horses get fit quicker. Some horses don't get fit quicker. You got a few heavy animals and they need an extra couple of weeks. But it's about 3 weeks out, and you start 3 months out. You just do some conditioning work, get their legs strong, start to get excess weight off. Then you start doing faster work. And the last month, then you're really just ramping up the work. Every week our horses work twice a week, every week. They would just go up through the paces. You might work them with slightly better horses as it goes on. So you're just testing them and turning the screw a little bit.
Of course.
Feedback is so important with the riders. You put a jockey up now and again. And then about 10 days out from the race, they'll do one really hard bit of work. And then we'll just take the pressure off and just let them feel good coming into the race.
10 days out, would that be similar to how far that they would run when they compete, or?
It would be similar. So if the horse is running in a 1.5 mile flat race, it wouldn't work over 1.5 miles. But it might work over 7 furlongs or a mile. Whereas a horse running over 5 furlongs would probably work over 3 or 4, maybe 5, depending on what you want to achieve.
Just getting him a taste at the pace that he needs to be at.
Exactly. You try not to. Our theory, everyone's different, but we don't like to maximize distance. We rather maximize speed.
Okay, over shorter periods, and then try to get him to run a little bit longer at that speed.
Exactly. A kind of like interval training. We'd rather do short, fast work more often.
Well, that's how we condition very similar as well. Like we don't just go out there and run, 7-8K, because that's what we'd run in a game. You'd literally be interval training. You'd be 15 on, 15 off, needing to cover a certain amount of distance and do sets of that. So similar enough. I'm just not 500 kgs.
Yeah, pretty much. And your legs aren't that skinny.
So no, very similar.
And the week before a match, are you training hard? Are you starting to ease off? It depends on where it is in the season.
It does depend where you are in the season, obviously, but like there's a lot of you do a lot of, I guess, non-physical reps, whether that's indoors where it's just walkthroughs, it's sitting down. A lot of the time you're just watching videos, whether it's videos of yourself in terms of, moves and plays and positional stuff throughout the week, or opposition. You watch so much of the opposition nowadays, and we're fortunate enough to have access to computers and be sent absolutely everything. So it might be 7, 8 o'clock at night, I'll sit down and do 20 minutes or an hour's worth of work, and that's just prepping me for the next day. And then earlier on in the week, you tend to do a bit more work, and then it tapers off as you're coming up to game day. So I'm sure it's very similar in a lot of other sports. So
it's all about having the athlete feeling good going into the
you want to, when it comes to Saturday, you want to be feeling $1 million. You don't want to run them ragged throughout the week. And times of the season you're going to have to run more, knowing that you might have a congestion of games, say 3 games in a row. You might have a couple of 6-day turnarounds, so you've got to do less on-field training there, so you might have to pick it up a week or 2 in advance, and that's just how it is. But you're fortunate enough to have your schedule there and sorted, and when the weeks are going to be tough leading into games. But,
it's very similar. You're an athlete and horses
the horse
are
is
athletes.
an athlete as well. So.